So I literally just got like caught up in the moment and almost did something where I would have been calling myself a hypocrite forever if I would have not thought this thing through. I almost messed up, but I caught myself. So, when I left my house at like 1 o'clock to go door dashing, I was driving down this road and I saw this car on the side of the road, and it looked like a tweaker. You know, I mean, like, I'm an ex-tweaker. I know what they look like. You know, it looked like a tweaker in their car on the side of the road, up to no good. So, like, 4 hours later, I'm still dashing. You know, 4 hours later, I drive down the same road, and that same car, the same person, is sitting there in their car smoking. You know, probably smoking cigarettes. I don't know, maybe not. I just saw smoke coming out of the car. And I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt when I say it was probably cigarettes. I'm about 50-50. It was either cigarettes or dope. But anyway, so about 4 hours later, I drove past and I pulled over. They were facing this way and I went by this way. So I pulled over on the side of the road, rolled my window down, and I said, hey, I said, are you okay? I said, are you broke down? Do you need help? I said, I drove past here about 4 hours ago and you were still sitting right there. So I just want to make sure that you're okay. And the lady says, I've only been here for an hour. And I says, no. I says, you were here like 4 hours ago because when I drove past, when I first started my shift, I saw your car there. She said, no, there's another car that looks just like mine. And so we started arguing about, I was like, no, I know it was you. Like, either way, that's beside the point. I'm just trying to make sure that you're okay. And she goes, the fact that you pulled over and the fact that you are asking me all these questions and telling me that you saw me here 4 hours ago and you're harassing me. And I'm like, lady, I'm not harassing you. I'm just trying to find out if you're okay, if you need help, if you're stranded, or if you're broke down on the side of the road. I have a phone. I can call somebody. I can help you. I'm like, I'm just trying to do the right thing. So basically, she starts arguing with me, telling me that I'm harassing her, and I'm arguing with her back, saying I'm not harassing her. She's saying that she's only been sitting there for an hour. I told her that she's been sitting there for 4 hours. We're sitting here and we're arguing back and forth. And, like, I'm trying to prove to her that I was right about her being there for 4 hours. And she's trying to tell me, no, I've only been sitting here for an hour. Which she could have been. She could have left and came back, but I'm pretty sure that she was there. You know, like, I actually drove past there another time that was maybe 2 hours later, and she was still sitting there. So, like, I drove past her 3 times in the 4 hours, and she was there. But either way, like, we're arguing back and forth about, like, how long she's been there, and she gets all lippy with me, and I get all pissed off that she's getting lippy with me. Which, like, so long story short, I ended up saying, you know what? Like, fine. I says, I'm going to go ahead and call the cops and see what they say. So I pulled up a little bit past her. I pulled up, stood on the side of the road, grabbed my phone, and pretended like I was calling the cops. I wasn't calling the cops. I was just holding my phone up to my head because I was pissed off that she was getting lippy with me. A tweaker. Now, that's when my brain started thinking and I started realizing what was going on, and I even said out loud in my car to myself, I says, Coy, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I had to battle it out with myself because I realized that I was upset that a tweaker was getting lippy with me. I mean, like, when I was tweaking in my days, I would sit on the side of the road and do exactly what she was doing. I'd be sitting on the side of the road, smoking in my car, or doing something illegal. The only difference is I was raised to be better than that. So when people driving past would ask me what I'm doing, I never kicked them attitude because I was so paranoid about them calling the cops on me that I would just be the nicest, most polite person I could be just to try to get rid of them. Well, that that wasn't how she reacted. And I had to tell myself, I'm like, Coy, you're like 1 in 100 people that would do that. Anybody else, any other tweaker would get offensive and be like, exactly like she did. So I had to really look at myself and be like, okay, dude, you're going to call the cops, or you're pretending or whatever. You're going to call the cops on somebody that's sitting there doing the exact same thing you used to do. And I can hear Jesus, hypocrite, you're a hypocrite. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to call the cops. Like, I already knew. I was just saying that to get under her skin because I was upset. I was upset that she was being disrespectful to me, and all I was trying to do was help her. So I started thinking, and I remember hearing Joel talk about in several of his messages, you have to be the peacemaker. It's just because you win the argument doesn't mean you've won the war. Like, you may win the argument and still nothing be settled. And it's like, I was trying to win the argument. I was trying to prove that she had been sitting there for 4 hours, and she was arguing that she's only been sitting there for an hour. And either way, it's like, no matter how much I tried to win that argument, it just kept getting escalated more and more and more and more, and to the point to where I just freaking nearly flipped out. And like I said, I wasn't gonna call the cops, but just to get back at her, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna call the cops and see what they think about this. And then I pretended like I was calling the cops, and I was like, Coy, what the heck are you doing, dude? Like, just forget about her. Like, forget about her. Like, think about what's going on. You pulled over. You tried to ask a tweaker if she was okay, and now you're getting now she's getting lippy with you because you're probably bothering her from getting high, which I know, I've been there. And it's like, that's probably why she's getting lippy with you. She's just trying to get rid of you. But meanwhile, I'm trying to win the argument and be like, oh no, you were sitting here for 4 hours, regardless of if it was an hour or 4 hours. Like, I should have just let it go. So, I mean, that's what I ended up doing. I ended up sitting there for like a minute or two, and then I ended up realizing what I was doing, and I was like, Coy, what are you doing? And once I realized what I was doing, and I thought about Joel saying, it's not always worth winning the battle. Sometimes it's better to lose on purpose, knowing that you're right, but lose on purpose just to keep a situation from getting escalated. So that's what I ended up doing, and I ended up just leaving. Like I said, I didn't call the cops, I just left, but I was so pissed off. I was so in my feelings about it. And I just want to take my hat off to all the police officers and sheriffs and state troopers out there that deal with druggies and tweakers and just people on the side of the road, just deal with irate people, because it takes a certain kind of person to be able to sit there and get yelled at and yelled at and yelled at and all this stuff, and then just keep calm and just talk to them calm. And that's what a lot of police officers do. I realize that. I've dealt with a lot of police officers. I've seen a lot of police officers when they're dealing with other people, and other people just, they'll start a conversation nicely, and then the other person starts feeling attacked, so they start just going off on the police officer, and the police officer just keeps their calm, and they're just calm and collective, and they just sit there and they just keep on being calm and collective. And it takes I just realized it takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that. So to all the law enforcement officers and people out there, I just got to take my hat off to you and say, you guys are very awesome. You guys can do what a lot of people can't do, because I like to think that I'm a cool, calm, and collective person, but 1 or 2 minutes talking to this girl, and I was ready to just freaking just lose it. So, like, if you guys, yeah, like that, I just wanted to make a video about that and just put that out there, because I was almost, like I said, I wasn't going to call the cops, so I can't say I was almost a hypocrite, because I would have never called the cops on her, because I knew she was doing what I used to do. But I just said, because I know that she's tweaking, I know that she's doing something illegal, so I just said, I'm going to call the cops, hoping that she would be like, oh crap, and leave. And she didn't even leave. She's probably still sitting there on the side of the road, and it's like, out of all that happened, who won the battle? I didn't win the battle, but I left losing my peace, and I was all pissed off, and I was all in my feelings, and I was trying to DoorDash, and I was like, I don't know, I was just all over the road, and I wasn't concentrating because my head was thinking about that. And yeah, so don't let things like that get under your skin like I just did. It's a lot better to, if you're arguing with someone, even if you know that you are right and they are wrong, sometimes it's better to just leave the argument and not let it escalate just because you're trying to win the argument. Sometimes it's better, like Joel says, to be a peacemaker. I'm usually very good at being a peacemaker, but today I lost that battle. And I'm sitting here and I will admit that to you guys. I lost that battle. I should have just left and just been like, okay, you're right. You've only been here for an hour. You're obviously not broken down or whatever. So I'm going to take off. You have a nice day. That's what I should have done. But I was so how dare you? I'm kind of ashamed of myself, I'm embarrassed, even though nobody was around. I'm embarrassed for myself because I can't believe that I let her push me to that level of frustration. I know that I'm better than that, and I know that I'm stronger than that. I don't know why it bothered me so much and why I let it bother me so much. I really don't know why. I guess it was because I figured, I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to make sure that you're okay. Why are you yelling at me and going off on me and calling me saying that I'm harassing you, and I'm not harassing you. I'm just trying to make sure. I guess I got in my feelings about it. So I'm not going to be like, oh, well, that's the last time I try to help somebody. It's not going to be the last time. But I just know the next time that happens, I'm going to be the peacemaker. And if somebody starts arguing with me, I'm just going to be like, okay, we'll see you later. You have a good day. So I hope this video helps somebody. I am just so ashamed of myself right now. But yeah, I really hope this video helps somebody. Just remember, it's not worth it. Sometimes just lose the battle on purpose and keep your joy, keep your peace, and be the peacemaker. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Coy. I love you guys. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.